So what happens when you spend 2 days in a live event with someone who sells more than $1 million every time they run the event? Well, you end up making a crazy huge Google sheet with an entire framework and brain dump so that you can learn how to apply those sales strategies to your own business. That's exactly what I did this week. I spent Monday and Tuesday on a 2-day live event with Krista Mayshore, a real estate agent and coach, and I'm going to give you all my favorite takeaways from this event so that we can learn from that and apply it to our businesses as we sell our products, services, and programs. But first, I just want to say hello. If you are here, go ahead and drop a hashtag live, hashtag replay. I'm just going to check in and make sure if you can hear me, let me know. I may have gone live a little bit ago with no sound. Well, we're going to hop in today and I'm going to break down the different stages that Krista took her audience through. Now, am I a real estate agent? No, I'm not. But her program offers a business-in-a-box solution for real estate agents. My program, one of my programs, offers a business-in-a-box solution for copywriters. So I knew that I could take her basic framework for her event and apply it to my live 2-day event and just be able to take my clients on a journey that is a good mirror of her journey, because we both have very similar styles when we teach. We both have similar drive and care for our clients and our students. And she has a way of really just diving in, taking action, and I definitely want to be an action taker too. So if you sell products or services or even programs like I do, I highly recommend finding people who do it well and watching them. Sign up for their live events, go watch their webinars, take in those master classes, because you're going to learn so much just by watching how they relate to their audiences. But make sure that you're looking for a couple of important things. So number one, make sure that you're watching somebody who's doing it well. So somebody who is actually selling products and services on the back end. Also look for somebody who is delivering. And I'm talking in terms of your customer service. Are they getting what they're promised? Are the clients and customers getting what they're being promised? Do they have a lot of positive testimonials? Things like that. And also third, make sure that it's somebody that you can really relate to. Forcing yourself to model a sales structure that just feels like a bad fitting coat is a miserable experience. There are all different kinds of sales structures out there. I tend to be more conversational, story-based, personal, invite you into my world to become part of what I do and who I am every single day. A hard sales strategy is not going to come off as authentic for me. So I'm not going to go put myself in that world and try to force myself into that mold, because it wouldn't be effective for me. So make sure you're following somebody who is getting results on the sales end, is delivering on the customer care end, and is similar in style to you, because it's going to be relatable to your audience. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of my takeaways from this really cool event. So let me tell you first a little bit about Krista Mayshore. About 4 years ago, Krista Mayshore was a real estate agent. She still is. She's still one of the top real estate agents in the state of California. And she decided that she wanted to help other agents learn how to use social media to grow their followings so that they could land more listings and sales. And it really worked. Like, her model is very effective. But it took her 4 years to figure out how to market it in a way that really showed the value of the program, got people excited about the potential, and convinced them to buy. So today she runs a 2-day event. It's $97, and over the 2-day event she teaches them some basic frameworks and then pitches her program. The program is a year long. They get access to her and her whole team. She helps them set up their video marketing systems. They get access to a CRM. They get access to some other proprietary processes and systems that she has. It really is a very well-rounded full program. The first time she offered it, she charged $19.97. Today, it's a $23,000 program. It gets more than a 20% conversion rate, and she's selling more than $1 million every month when she does this 2-day live event. So obviously, I'm all ears. My program is nowhere near $23,000. However, it does offer a business in a box solution for copywriters, because I'm not only teaching the technical writing skills, I'm also teaching the client acquisition skills and the business building skills and the mindset and all of that. So I'm super intently watching how she does it, because I know that what she's doing is helping her ideal clients get results. And that's what I'm after too. I'm after helping copywriters be able to step it up at a high level so that they can attract the high paying clients and customers that they deserve. So let's go ahead and take a look. There's definitely some things that Krista did that really pre-framed things for people. So first of all, Krista sent out a ton of emails. When people registered and paid for the training, she started emailing them right away. I know, because when I signed up for the training, I started getting those emails too. And I actually have a Google Doc where I copied and pasted all of the emails into, and this doc is 24 pages long. Before the event even went live, I probably received 14 emails. Some of them were just seeding the ideas and the concepts that I was going to learn. Some of them had the links, like here's the Zoom link for when you sign in to get ready to go. Here's the link to the workbook. Here's the Facebook group. Please go and join. None of the emails were super long, but they all offered some helpful information that would keep people excited for being able to hit the ground running once they got to the event. There were several emails the day of the event, just like an hour left, don't worry, you'll get another email at a 30-minute warning, just to keep it on the top of your mind. You could also sign up for like chatbot or text. I didn't do that, but you could, and then be getting those live notifications straight in your phone or in your DMs. So for me, this is a little bit uncomfortable, because I have the kind of personality where I don't like to bother people, and I don't like to like be perceived as somebody who's like always hey. So it was really good for me to see how committed she was to being very consistent in sending out a good number of emails to offer value beforehand, because it really does keep things top of mind. And did I feel bothered by it? No, I really didn't. I had willingly signed up for the event, and I was ready for whatever emails she sent. I didn't read every single one word for word, but they were there, and I was able to get access to the assets for the event because she sent them regularly. She also included a couple emails that had videos. So there was one that had a testimonial from somebody who had attended the event. There was another one that talked about one of the frameworks she was going to teach. So it was kind of like a little teaser, a little preview, and I thought that was really great. Another thing that she had before the event even started was she had a really active Facebook group just for event attendees. So in the first email after signing up, one of the first things she reminds you to do is head over to the private Facebook group. And in the Facebook group, she's got a lot of interaction going on. She's got some moderators in there who are answering any questions people might have. They've got some fun prompts and posts. They want people to introduce themselves, get to know each other, kind of become a community. And that's just a nice place for people to go if they have questions before it even gets started. So I highly recommend that. It's something that I do with my 5-day challenge. The minute people register, they're put in the Funnel Copy Fix Challenge Facebook page, where we can hype them up, get people excited and ready to roll. All right, so what about the actual event itself? What makes something like this kind of a thing, sell $1 million in like a week? A lot of it has to do with the way that she structured her content. So when we first got in there, they right away have an MC. So she is not the only person communicating. So she had an MC who pumped people up with music, had them live in the chat, and there were 400 people consistently in this live event at any given time. 400 people. That went from Monday morning to Tuesday night. It was really incredible. And they were very active in the chat. So there were moderators in the background asking people questions and getting people to comment. And there were also people talking to each other, attendees talking to each other and going back and forth. And I thought that was really cool because it gets people involved. It makes them feel like they're there. Obviously, live events aren't really a thing that people are doing right now. And so these virtual events, you have to work a little bit harder to help people feel connected. And I really liked the way they did that because it really made it seem like you were all in a room together. Another thing that they did really well was the MC went ahead and set the ground rules for the group. So he gave a basic overview of what they were going to be talking about that morning. And every time they popped on after a break, he would do the same thing. He would kind of reset the room. We just talked about X, and now we're going to go into the next session where we're going to talk about this. And don't forget to mute your microphones if you have noise going on in the background. And we're going to be on page such and such of your workbook. So everybody always felt like they knew exactly where they were and what they were supposed to be doing. So when Krista came on, and this I think is one of the most important things that you can do, she didn't launch right into trainings. She didn't start talking about video recording. She didn't start talking about the teaching end of it. The first thing she actually did was she talked about mindset. So she basically just broke down the fears and questions and pain points of the audience. She just came alongside them and was like, hey, I know that right now it's been tough. 2020 really rocked the real estate industry, and you're trying to keep things going. I know, because my agency had its challenges too. I want you to know that this is possible for you. And so she just kind of broke down, like, you're probably feeling this, this, and this. But the truth is, you can achieve this, this, and this. So just the call to lay down what you assume is possible for you and accept the idea that even more is possible. And she went back over those themes over and over, because so much of sales is getting people to leave behind their old false beliefs and be willing to take a chance on something else. Because obviously these real estate agents, they have tried other ways to market. They're doing the newspaper articles, and they're doing the ads online, and maybe they're doing Facebook ads, or they're on billboards and TV stations and put their face on a park bench or whatever. So it's not because they haven't been trying. Now they need to be able to leave those things behind, those ineffective strategies that haven't worked. Not to say that those things don't work, but obviously if they're here and they're ready to learn something new, they want to grasp onto that. So giving them permission to let go of that and step into something new right off the bat is super important. Because if you don't do that, they're going to drag all of their luggage, all their baggage with them through all of the actual teaching training part, and it's going to pull their focus. So I loved how she really took time to set their minds at ease and help them come to a place where they were ready to consider the possibility that there's another way to achieve the goals that they have. And I really liked that. Another thing that she did along the way very, very frequently was she brought in a lot of testimonials. So she had written testimonials, she had video testimonials, she even had clients and students come on live and share their stories of how working with her and going through her program had impacted and changed their lives. This was super key because they gave this is where I was before I started working with Krista. This is where I am today after having worked with Krista. And those types of stories are super key because everyone in that live event can relate to being that before, right? They're here, they're in the before. And if they can see somebody who's just like them, who has achieved the result that they really, really want, then they start to think that it's possible for them too. So I was really impressed with the sheer amount of testimonials and videos that she had. And she did something really cool. She used this app called So Tell Us. Basically, it provides a link that you can give people in your events to go and create a testimonial video. Like, it's really quick. They just speak into their webcam and they're able to leave a quick testimonial for you live during the event while things are fresh in their mind and they're excited. And so she collects thousands of testimonials that way every single quarter, because she is making that quick, easy way to give a testimonial available. I haven't looked into the pricing on that. I'm assuming it's a paid subscription type of thing. But if you're gathering the kind of testimonials that can help move people towards a sale, then it's a worthy investment in order to get people there. There's nothing that works better than a testimonial from somebody who's just like them to help make them feel safe to buy. Well, let me just look over my notes here, my massive spreadsheet here. And I'm also going to pop in here and check out the comments here. I want to make sure I'm answering anything that you guys have questions about in the chat. Rip in the chat. I can't get back to it, guys. Let me turn it on my phone. I'll put it on my phone. This is how we do. I'm using a different streaming service today because the video quality was so poor in the service that I was using before. So videoing through Zoom is just not great. So I think that this is much better. Oh, hey Bart. Hey Cindy. Hey Nin. All right. Everybody hears me. Excellent. Love testimonials. We're live. Yes. Okay. Awesome. All right. So I wish I could show you my massive spreadsheet. Everyone was kind of low-key in awe of it because it's pretty thorough. It's how my brain thinks. I organize things on spreadsheets. So I actually have in column A the name of the session, and then in column B I have the topics that they covered. In column C, I actually wrote down the different micro commitments that she asked them to make. So that's my next takeaway, is she gets them involved and participatory by giving little micro commitment questions along the way. So some examples for this would be, she would ask a question like, how many deals do you have lined up right now? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Are you happy with that amount of deals? Do you want more deals? Do you want less deals? She would get them talking about topics that are top of mind all the time. She would urge them to go ahead and take a picture of the screen. So she's like, I know I'm going to be moving a little quick, so if you want to make sure that you're getting the notes here in my slideshow, quick, whip out your cameras, take a picture of the screen. She would get them participating. She would get them moving. She would get them taking action. And I really loved that, because a lot of times we can sit in front of a virtual event and just kind of like zone out, you know, but by continually getting these micro commitments and making these tiny little asks of things that is super simple to do, she's keeping them engaged, keeping them awake, keeping them excited about what's going on. She also would ask them to repeat things that she said. So repeat after me. And then she would say something and the whole group would repeat it. That was really cool because repetition helps you create new neurological pathways. And so she would have them repeat pieces of the mantra or little phrases or mottos that she had introduced along the way. She also had little asks where she would say, go to the Facebook group and post your takeaway from this past section. Or go to your Facebook group and answer the question, what do you stand to lose by not implementing what we're talking about today? So that would not only get them moving, but it would get them interacting with other people, starting to creating that sense of community, but also accountability. Like, here's where I am right now. I'm just being honest about it. And now that I realize that something different is possible for me, yeah, I'm willing to open up a little bit about it and look around at everyone else who is here saying the exact same thing. These are my people. This is where I want to hang out. I don't want to learn from anybody else, type of thing, which I loved. Yeah, so just there were so many little micro commitments along the way. It wasn't just her standing up there talking at them. It was like they were having a full-on conversation the whole time, which I really loved. So she went back and forth between teaching and training. So she talked about the ins and outs of creating video. She talked about the psychology of sales. She talked about 4 levels of giving value to their clients. She talked about how to determine your client avatar and your niche. And along the way, she just seeded the idea that there was even more. Like, this is the tip of the iceberg. That there's more in my program, that you can learn even more with my help. And then she would put in another testimonial, and it just was such a really cool way of getting like an inside look of what's going on inside the program, especially when she had people who were members of her program in there, and they would drop in little mini, oh yeah, I love this part of the program, or oh yeah, when I was in there in 2019, my business went from 150K a year to 1.2 million or whatever. And just people being there and being able to just be plugged in and interacting live with people who've gotten results from her was super powerful. I also have a column in here of my own personal notes, which is where I took notes for how, like, if there was something that really struck me and I wanted to definitely make sure that I instituted it in my stuff, or if it was something that just I really wanted to know, like, I don't think that would work for me, I would take just a little note. So for instance, I have a couple notes here of how many people were consistently on the live, how much engagement there was in the chat, how many support staff were in there going back and forth and answering questions, when people started begging for the price. So people started begging for the price and to learn more about what the offer was on day one before noon. So they started begging to know what the price was and what the offer was a full 24 hours before she even revealed anything about it, which blew my mind because they still had a full day and a half of content and learning that they were going to be given. Another thing that I found really interesting was that she did her pitch at noon. And so for her, she was Pacific time. That was 10 a.m. on day 2, on Tuesday. And so they still had the promise of the whole rest of the day of content and learning, where they've been given the opportunity, and then they were given the opportunity throughout the day to book a call and talk to an agent for the program. But they still were able to go ahead and keep learning. They weren't like, this is it, this is the end if you don't go on. No, they still had the rest of the day and the rest of the content to learn from and grow from. So those were my big takeaways. And we were really fortunate to be able to meet with Krista yesterday for 2 hours, a mastermind that I'm in. We gathered together and met with her over Zoom. Like, there were maybe less than 10 people on there, and we could ask her all kinds of questions. So we were able to ask, how do you deal with it when this happens? Or what did it look like when you first started trying to market this? And it was really cool to get like the backdoor look and her ideas of what she would do differently the next time, or the tweaks and changes she made early on that made a huge difference in conversions later on. And it's just a great reminder that everybody starts somewhere. She was not where she is today 3 or 4 years ago. And so she's like, I was nobody. Nobody knew me. I didn't have a lot of following at all. I didn't have a lot of social proof. I started from the bottom up, and I did it. She's like, you guys have coach, you guys have a community, you have all this stuff I didn't have, so it's totally possible for you. And it's such a great reminder, because I get in this mode where I think I should be farther along than I am. I think I should be doing more, accomplishing more, achieving more, and I get really frustrated with myself because I think, all right, you've been in this thing for several years now, you should really be doing more, you should be doing better, your stuff should be performing better. And it's such a good reminder that everybody started somewhere.